Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 10 Comic-Con review. The Whispers are always watching. I've watched this thing like 10 times so far. We got some real good information. I know you guys have done the same. This is where we compare a lot of notes. We start to funnel it down. Just some super good topics. I got a lot of information still to sort through that's just coming in left and right before we get started. Special shout out to the Patreon Army. Thank you for everything that you guys do. So I know we're going to talk about the Whispers watching, but I saw a little bit of chat just a couple seconds ago, and I want to touch on something because it's not really about code. It's not about Michonne. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, Michonne's moving on. She's kissing Ezekiel. Rick is dead. Rick Grimes is dead to her. This is a very important moment. I want this to sink into everybody. She has been looking for Rick for 7 years. She's not found him for all intents and purposes. He's out of the picture. It's time for her to move on. Now, as viewers, we have the luxury of knowing there's a helicopter. There's a Rick Grimes movie. You got to extract yourself from what you know, and you got to put yourself into the moment. So think about this. Michonne is ready to make that move. Now, this is a very important turning point for Michonne because it's going to show that she's ready to move on with her life. And lo and behold, what do you think is going to happen? Then she's going to find out after this fling or after this situation or whatever it may be, she's going to find out like, wait a minute, Rick's still alive? Awkward, but she's moved on, and now she'll have that fire and that flame all over again. So I know people don't like it because it's Rick Grimes, but I mean, come on. It's been 7 years. 7 years is long enough for her to go day in and day out and just move on to somebody else that she has a connection with. So Carol's moved on. Carol, has kind of pushed Ezekiel to the wayside. Ezekiel's doing his own thing, Michonne. So, I just think it's a tough situation for us to judge it. If Michonne even found the slightest clue that Rick was still out there, this would never happen. So I'm totally okay with it. Who am I to judge somebody for moving on with their life? I think, her happiness, it's, she's kept a lot of her emotions inside. She hasn't had anybody to open up to. I think it's an important part of the next move. I don't think it's something that she should be, looked down upon because it's Rick Grimes. I mean, keep in mind, it's moving on. What's the girl code? There is no girl code. Carol and Ezekiel are done. There's two single people. I'm trying to figure out what this girl code is. Is it that, after 4, 5, 6 months, Ezekiel can't have a relationship and Michonne can't have a relationship? Come on. And I mean, Carol has chosen to spend her time with Daryl over Ezekiel. Don't date a friend's ex. Well, I mean, who's to say they're even friends right now? There is no, there needs to be a new code. It's called the zombie apocalypse code. The rule changes in a zombie apocalypse. It's whatever you can, it's grab onto whatever you can find. That's the new code. That's the ZA code. We're going to patent it right now. ZA code. You cuddle up to anything that's moving. It's not going to bite you. It's not going to attack you. Anything. All right. So in watching this several times, I am starting to really feel the paranoia vibe. How many people are familiar with Psycho? How many people are familiar with an 80s song by Rockwell? I always feel like somebody's watching me. So as I watch this and I hear a little bit of the background and I see the looks on people's faces, frame by frame, I'm getting a Psycho vibe. I'm getting that this season is going to be about who's watching. And the Whispers even said, we have one rule, one law, we're always watching. But they're not just watching. They're moving the border. So think about trauma and paranoia. People that are in elevators, what do they suffer from? When they're in tight spaces. Bonus points if you can spell it. Spell check it before you type it. I wasn't going to attempt it. Because this is a whole new element. We're going to get a lot of different spellings of it. Claustrophobia. So it looks like what Alpha is doing is they're moving the borders on them. So they're getting them where they got nowhere to go, but they're moving the goalpost little by little by little. So their territory is shrinking and Alpha's territory is expanding. And we saw that because we saw the border scene where Carol went up. We saw Henry's little coin. But then we saw another border that was marked. So it looks like they're changing the rules a little bit. Now, also another scene. And this is where they do the split scene. So I don't know. Like we saw Negan with blood on his face. Probably after he and Daryl got in a fight. Then we saw someone holding a crowbar with Arian on the ground. Doesn't mean that's Negan. But we also saw Alpha talking about, the face-to-face. But then we saw Carol saying, bitch gotta die. Now, Carol, it happened immediately after Alpha's conversation. But Carol was not saying that to Alpha. She was saying that to Michonne. And they trick you with these frames, how they splice it all together. So, I think the Carol where she said, bitch gotta die, I think is after Carol has suffered a traumatic situation with someone else. So, for example, we see Carol in tears. We see Daryl hug Carol right after that. And then we see Alpha saying that to Michonne. So I think Carol has a history of taking that emotion and showing it quickly and then, boom, immediately coming up with something else. And I would see that as maybe Ezekiel. Something happens with Ezekiel. Now, also, I don't know if you noticed this. Did anybody see the scene with Carol with Henry over her left shoulder where she's having this hallucination or this flashback or this dream or this memory of Henry? If you watch it really slow, you can see, it looks like someone looking out of the closet, Henry's neck, you can see the blood. So Carol's suffering from these dreams and these problems, and maybe she wakes up in tears, and that's where Daryl comforts her, but something makes her go to Michonne and say, the bitch gotta die. Now, what scares me is they do this scene and they make it look like our group has the upper hand. I'm telling you right now, trust me when I tell you this. If you watch this multiple times, if you watch this 10 times, the excitement and the hype, like, yeah, we got weapons. Yeah, Negan's fighting. Yeah, all this good stuff's happening in our group. No. This is as dark and as twisted as any teaser trailer I've ever seen. You've got to understand, and if you just watch the whisper scenes without all the other stuff, you're going to get it. You're going to see the looks on their face. You're going to see the fear. Alpha is running after them like a wild animal. The group has been forced to put their weapons down at the border because they're surrounded again. And Alpha says to them, you must be punished. The punishment is going to be intense. And I think the way they say that, where Carol's like, she's got to die, you're thinking like, yeah, we got a standoff. We got a face-to-face. Nope. We see Cindy in the trailer where Magna says to Cindy, if we get called on the other side of the border, you can see that they're afraid. When Alpha says the group has to be punished, I'm thinking a second Pike scene where we actually see who gets punished this time around. Remember, my bold prediction last season was that Alpha was not evil enough because we didn't see what happened at the Pikes. So now Alpha's standing there with one of the pikes in her hands saying, you must be punished for trespassing. It's coming. Believe it's coming. It is going to be a whole new element where I've said this from day one. Alpha needs to become the equivalent of Negan. She will. And that bat scene where at the very, very end, they take you from Alpha says, you should fear me. Whew. Go listen to that like 3 or 4 times. Just hear it again like, you should fear me. Oh, it just makes my skin crawl when she says it. And they don't show any face or anything. When you hear Alpha saying punishment and you should fear, I don't think that is coming where it's a 5-on-5 standoff. I think that there's about to be some live skinning going on when Alpha says that. And if she taunts, if she does anything to the element of what Negan did, remember, Negan beat Glenn and he danced around, and that's the part that just eats at people. So if Alpha has somebody at a disadvantage and she's taunting them, it will be Negan scene times 2. It'll be more reckless, more ruthless. And what would make Michonne take out that bat? I think some punishment has happened. And once again, this is a super bold prediction I made 3 months ago. I said there will be a major death, something so traumatic that Michonne will give Lucille back to Negan because they need a ruthless Negan with everything at his disposal. So I think when you see that bat pointed, it's to make it look as if Michonne's getting ready to beat somebody, but I think it's going to be pointing it at Negan and giving the bat to Negan because they need crazy mode. They need his unpredictability. So from everything I've seen with the teaser, the trailer, I like it. I like the direction. I like the fact that our predictions are still in play. You guys remember last year when we were funneling, every week we kept saying like, hey, Rick leaving with it. It's still in play. It hasn't happened yet. We haven't seen Rick die. So I know there's going to be some things we throw out there that are wrong, but I do want to funnel it down to ultimately where we get to a major second Pike scene. We get to Negan with his bat, probably going after Beta, going after somebody. Michonne forced to leave. If you guys get a chance, zoom in on the USA sailboat that Michonne is on. She's wearing an orange tank, and she's got RJ in her lap. Now remember, we made a super bold prediction. We did. I mean, some people have not fully embraced it yet, but our super bold prediction was that everything heats up. Michonne is forced to leave. She gets a clue about Rick that she'll leave Judith behind and she'll take RJ. Now, several people said, nope, she's not leaving Judith behind. Okay, she's going to take both. Nope, she's not leaving. Michonne is on that boat with RJ on her lap. You can check it out. She gives Judith a goodbye hug. Now, I don't know if she gives Judith the goodbye hug as she's leaving or before they go into that epic fight. There's some good stuff in that scene. Did you guys see the, I don't know if they're oxygen tanks. Did you guys see the tanks on the ground that they used to start the fire? If you watch the Michonne Judith scene where they're slashing, you can see in the background there's 2 silver tanks on the ground. So you can see they went in and really started lighting the fire. That's what they're using to set some things on fire. They're torching the place down. So just a couple hidden clues that are out there. Chris, she's leaving Judith with someone because Judith ain't on that boat. So I don't know if it's a question of even whether she has a choice of whether she's leaving Judith behind. I really think Judith this season is going to blow some people away. So we got Michonne and RJ on the boat. We got No People, Ezekiel kissing Michonne. I watched it again. There's some, it's somewhere between a goodbye kiss and a passionate. It's somewhere in the middle. And with everything they've went through, I don't know how much it means or if it's going to lead to something else. I watched it several times. It was a little, couldn't really tell. I mean, it wasn't to the level of the Magna and Yumiko scene that's in there. There's going to be some throwdown with the two of them. Yeah, it wasn't like that. If it would have been like that, then you know it's on. I'm not going to completely dissect it. Like I said, if I know it could have been a kiss on the head, it could have been, a holding hand type of thing. So I would agree. I think there's more to it. I see already that for the next month and a half of all the of all the whispers, the watching, the paranoia, we're really going to be on this girl code thing, right? We don't even know what the details are yet. We're just jumping the gun on this a little bit. Give them their moment. All we've seen is the two of them embrace. How about Daryl taking some shots at Negan? So I do want to say this because there does seem to be some time questions. Father G looking in the jail cell. Is that potentially after Daryl went in? So, okay, it looks like Negan and Daryl fight in the infirmary. Is that a fair assessment? Not in the jail cell. I just thought when Daryl was throwing the punches that I saw like the towels in the background, a couple things. Looks like that's probably in the room where Negan was when Michonne was talking to him. Not sure if you guys caught that. Looks like he's punching somebody in a mask. So somebody is either spying, somebody came in. Okay, I can go back and rewatch that. No, I can't. And once again, it's an assumption. But here's the thing that got me thinking a little bit is we don't know when the Aaron Father G Negan scene takes place. That could be after Father G lets him out of jail. Because we do see the scene where Father G's looking in a jail cell and he's shocked. So what I'm thinking is maybe Daryl goes in there and beats the crap out of Negan. And Father G walks in and he sees Negan, who didn't fight back, kind of beat up, bloodied a little bit. And then ultimately he decides, shortly after that, let's let him go. Let's partner him with Aaron. So it could be two different things. Maybe Daryl's in a fight scene and who knows. But there is something about that jail scene. Yeah, Eddie, I can't tell who it is either. And that's the thing. You guys are absolutely right. That's the thing that we have to be careful doing, is because if we're splicing all these images together, if Daryl's punching a walker, then shortly after he had the conversation with Negan, then we're sort of tricked into thinking that. But Father G looking in the jail cell is very peculiar to me. But same type of thing. I think that could be. I think that could be prior to Negan and Aaron partnering up. Good stuff. I got several pages of notes. Yep, that's true. When Daryl was punching Richard, we didn't know who he was punching. They messed us up a little bit. But I like the way they ended on a happy note. But certainly that happiness is at the beginning. So how many people feel like that's a mid-season finale type of thing where Alpha says you're going to be punished? Like in episode 7, episode 8. That we've got all this good stuff we're going to experience between now and then. And then they're going to be putting their weapons down. And, I don't know how many times they get surrounded and they have to put their weapons down. But there better be something dramatic around the corner. Yes, we know. Episode 8 of Fear, people can all watch. We know it's out there, guys. It comes out Friday night. So it's not leaked. If you have AMC Premiere, you could actually, people know what's going to happen this week. With that being said, we're still going to do our Walking Dead conversation tomorrow. We're going to do our Fear countdown tomorrow night. We're going to celebrate it because we know, and look, there could be some spoilers out there, so just be careful. We're going to respectfully ask in all of our streams, though, because people have watched Fear, that they don't mention what happens. And it is hot, everybody. So a couple quick questions, because I got some more notes. And let me also say this. I want to give a special shout-out to our international viewing audience that's overseas, over in the Europe area. We like to do these streams on Saturday morning and Sunday morning because, well, it's in the afternoon for many of them. It's like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So we get them where it's not super, super late. Because a lot of times we're doing 9:30 streams. We got Princess Pie, and we got Mary, and we got Wilson. So many people, it's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning for them. So, we don't get their A game. We get their B game. But today we get their A game. This is the afternoon, wide awake. I do want to ask the group, how many people were here last night for Freestyle Friday? How many people participated in that stream? We got Brat in the house. There we go. So yeah, we got our full international audience here. Awesome stuff. How many people had a good time last night? I had a blast. If you have not participated in one of our Freestyle Fridays, it gets a little nuts. There's always Walking Dead chat. It's almost like a buffet. If you like buffets, if you like to go and sample a little bit of everything, Freestyle Friday has a little bit of everything because there's no way to describe except just to hang out with us. And no stress, no overbearing theories, just, good, calm, relaxing stuff. Because sometimes we do rants, sometimes we do coffee with kills, sometimes we get fired up, we get passionate about it. I mean, God knows I've done some streams bashing Maggie and other people on The Walking Dead, and I didn't hear the end of it for I had somebody that was a Patreon that stopped supporting our channel because they did not like my opinion on Maggie. I was like, okay, do what you got to do. But it was wild. They sent me a message. I don't like your opinion on this. I can't believe you always bash Maggie. I can no longer support this channel. Well, don't know how to handle that one. Sorry. Okay, couple other announcements, though. No, there will not be a stream tonight. No Saturday night stream. There will be a stream tomorrow morning. We will do an 11 a.m. Sunday morning stream as well. So I want you guys to get some more data, get some more research. We can't get everything in today's stream. We're going to be talking about this for about a month. Can we funnel girl code? I'm curious now. So, Wilson, girl code, you can't date someone's ex. Your best friend's ex. So if Michonne and Carol are friends, Michonne should not be with Ezekiel. But we're going to come up with a ZA code. Like, why is Eugene measuring Rosita's baby's legs? Is it possible Eugene is the daddy? Did Rosita... Look, I'm not calling Rosita a hoe, but it just seems interesting that Rosita was with Abe, Rosita was with Spencer, Rosita was with Sadiq, Rosita is with Father G. Is it possible that Eugene and Rosita had a moment and, hey, his baby's legs are more closely aligned to mine? Just something interesting. Dr. Eugene Porter. Come on, you guys take that back. Rosita might be a hoe, but she's my hoe. I can't believe the hatred here. She's a free spirit. Yeah. It's the zombie apocalypse. Cut her some slack. You guys crack me up. I hope Christian is not watching. Yeah, it's all in good fun. Hey, everybody, we're about 27 minutes in, so I want to thank all of you guys for being here on this Saturday morning. They're going to be shorter streams on the weekends because we're going to do multiple streams. We will be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. for our Sunday chat. If there's enough caffeine, if there's enough coffee, we may make it a Coffee with Kills segment. So we'll get super, super hyped up. We're going to do the countdown stream tomorrow night. We're going to do a reaction stream. And all next week, we got a ton of stuff to talk about. So grab your data, bring it back here. Any new information, anything. Remember, when these streams first come out, there's a lot of stuff to talk about, right? Because we're talking about the whole trailer. But what we'll start to do is we'll start to specifically talk about one topic and sort of keep it focused on that so we can come up with some really, really good theories, our evaluations, our judgments, and, of course, ultimately our bold predictions. So I want to thank everybody for being here. You guys are absolutely amazing. I will see you all tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. And have a good, safe evening. If you're in this heat wave, stay cool. Talk to you all soon. Peace.